Martio here. Welcome to another live album ranking where we look at the live albums of some of the good bands. And today we're going to look at Diamond Head. So Diamond Head, an English heavy metal band, formed in Stourbridge, West Midlands in 1976. Now, for those of you that watch this outside UK, Stourbridge is in the West Midlands, and it's basically just a bit south of Birmingham. Obviously, they were the part of the new wave of the British heavy metal scene back in the day, and some of the thrash fans acknowledged their influence is on this band, such as Metallica and Megadeth. They've released 5 live albums, all very good. A really good live act. I never got to see them, unfortunately, but see them at Milton Keynes Bowl when I supported Metallica, and he said they were brilliant. And I've got a story to tell you about that. Yeah, the reason I didn't go to that gig is because I'd basically broken my back and I was having treatment at the time, and so I couldn't go out anywhere. So let's have a look at these 5 albums. So coming in at number 5, we have an album released in 1992, and it's the Friday Night Rock Show Sessions and Live at Reading. There's a few tracks from live sessions in the studio and some tracks from Reading. And it was released as a part of an official series of similar radio archives that the BBC have done over the years, and it's featured on the Friday Rock Show. Would have been hosted by Mr. Tommy Vance, the music vendor. So on this album, performing was Sean Harris, Brian Tatler on the guitars, Sean obviously on the vocals, Eddie Mahoon on the bass, and Carl Wilcox on the drums. So we've got Sweet and Innocent, Lightning to the Nations, Am I Evil, In the Heat of the Night. And you got tracks from Reading as well, Borrowed Time, Don't You Ever Leave Me, Sucking My Love and Play It Loud. Now I've got this album twice now because it's on another sort of Beeb type thing. The sound's very raw, especially that I love the tracks from the In Session on the Friday Rock Show. They are absolutely brilliant. And I'm going to just give this an RTO ranking of 5.5. Okay, then coming in at number 4, that's an album that was came out around about 94. Now it's an album that I haven't got, and I cannot find it anywhere. One day I will get this. It's the one that I'm missing, and it really bugs me. And it's Live in the Heat of the Night. Now this was recorded at Wolverhampton Wolfram Hall during their 1991 comeback tour. Now the only stuff that I've got on it is actually disc 2, which was they did like a live performance. It's a bit of a bootleg, but I'll go through the whole album, but I'll tell you the bit that I've actually got. So playing on this, we've got Sean Harris again on vocals, Brian Tatler on the guitars, Eddie Mahoon on on bass, and Carl Wilcox on the drums. Now this is the bit of the album I'm missing that features Lightning to the Nations, Feels Good, Can't Help Myself, In the Heat of the Night, Calling Your Name, She Comes, Sucking My Love, Let Me Down Easy, Borrowed Time, Run, To Heaven and Hell, Making Music, Home, and then there's a medley of Helpless, My Generation, Oh Well, Hocus Pocus, Riff Raff, and It's Electric. Now I haven't got that, but what I have got, which I sort of listened to via YouTube because it's a bootleg concert, the disc I've got features Feels Good, I Can't Help Myself, In the Heat of the Night, Calling Your Name, She Comes Down, Sucking My Love, Let Me Down Easy, Borrowed Time, and Run. Okay, what I've heard, it sounds good, and I bet it really does sound good when it's properly mixed. There's some great versions of their songs on what I've got, even though the production's poor. But I still like listening to it, to be quite honest. And I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 6 out of 10. Okay, then coming at number 3, this is the second album that I've got, called Live at the BBC. This came out in 2010. We've got Sean Harris, Brian Tatler, Eddie Moohan and Carl Wilcox. So it's 2 discs, and disc 1 is basically that Friday Rock Show sessions. So you've got the first 4 tracks are from that session. 5 to 10 is from Reading in 1982. On disc 2 you've got the first tracks from BBC in Concert 1982, and you've got some tracks from the Milton Keynes Bowl. So again, you've got Borrowed Time, Don't Ever Leave Me, Sweet and Innocent, Lightning the Nations, and Am I Evil, In the Heat of the Night. Borrowed Time, Don't You Ever Leave Me, Sucking on My Love, Play It Loud. Okay, the other part is Borrowed Time, In the Heat of the Night, Sucking My Love, To Heaven, Play It Out, Am I Evil, Dust, Trucking, To His Devil, His Due, Sucking My Love, Run, From Heaven and Hell, and Helpless. Really good package again. Okay, we've got a few tracks from the Bowl at Milton Keynes, which is just down the road from me. But everything else is absolutely stonking. It's a really good album. I enjoy playing this because the production's a little bit better than on that Friday Rock Show sessions. Cleaned it up a little bit. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay, then coming in at number 2, we have Evil Live. Recorded in the UK in 1993. It's also got a second. This is a 2 CD disc, and it's got some cover versions and previously unreleased tracks. So on here it's Sean, Brian, Eddie, and Carl. Opens up with Am I Evil? Now I've got a story to tell you about this. When my mate went, if you've never been to the Bowl, it's like a bank. It is a huge bowl. And during the day, you go and sit up on the hill, have a few beers and chill out, and just go down to the front bit for the main event. So they were sitting there having a Diamond Head come on, so they stood up and they started playing Am I Evil? And there was these kids in front of them, and they went, well, these are really taking the piss, doing a Metallica song. Now my mate, he doesn't mix his words, and he said, he tapped one on the shoulder, and what? He says, I just want to let you know that Metallica didn't do this. This is the original, by the original band. Oh, I didn't know that. Really, he said it was so funny. They thought that Diamond Head were covering a Metallica song. It's absolutely, he said it was priceless. I love that story. You got Am I Evil, Dust, Trucking, To the Devil His Due, Sucking My Love, Run, To Heaven, From Hell, Helpless. The other thing about this, that Sean Harris came on as a Grim Reaper, and he said this is the death of metal or something, I don't know, and he left the band soon after this. So we got the disc 2, which is called Evil Extras. There's some covers on here. I'll just go through them with you. Good Loving Gone Bad. That's Bad Company. Really good cover. Not wrong. Nothing wrong with that. Then there's This Flight for Tonight. Unfortunately, Sean hasn't got the same growl as Dan Nazareth's version. It's not a bad version. Then we got Rockman by Montrose. Don't mind this version of it. I think Sean does a great job. Then another Montrose track, Good Rockin' Tonight, Give It Justice. Then we got Sweet Silence, which is a Mr. Big song. I think Brian's guitar works on this, and there's a great little bass line from Eddie. It's a pretty cool version. Then we get some tracks that are new tracks that they did. Feels good. Yeah, I like the riffs in this. Just good old fashioned Diamond Head. Brian's on fire. Kiss of Fire, that's alright. Let Me Down Easy. Out of these unreleased tracks, this is the best one. I think it's a great bass line from Eddie. Brian can still play them riffs, and Sean's got a really good vocal on that. I think this is a great live album. Okay, there's only 8 tracks, but it's brilliant, and according to my mate, they were fantastic that day. The covers are good on here. It's a reasonable album, and I like listening to this, so I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Okay, my number 1, this will probably shock a lot of people. It's a live album called It's Electric. It was recorded at the Astoria Theatre in London in 2005. This was released in 2006. And it's Brian Tatler on guitars, Carl Wilcox on the drums, Nick Tart on lead vocals, and Eddie Moohan on the bass. I think Nick Tart was a great singer for the band, and this live album is terrific. It starts off with the intro of Am I Evil, then we get It's Electric, Give It To Me, The Prince, Mine or Mine, Lightning to the Nations, Fallen Angel, To the Devil He's Due, Alamy, I Can't Help Myself, Sucking My Love, Streets of Gold, Helpless, a full version of Am I Evil, and the album ends up with In the Heat of the Night. I love this album. I love it because the playing is fantastic, the production on it is great, and Nick Tart sounds brilliant. I'd say this is my favourite version of Am I Evil. He's really good on here. I mean, Sean Harris was the vote man, you know, he was the best singer, you know, he's always going to be my favourite singer, but Nick Tart did a damn good job. Brian sounds brilliant on this album. His guitar playing is superb as ever. I just love listening to this album. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.5. So there we go. I think everyone should know next week's live album. It's my favourite American band, and 1 or 2 of you really like them as well, so we're doing Blue Oyster Cult next week. I'll be back later with a brand new album review, and it's the album that came out last Friday, Will of the People from Muse. Today the new Arena album is released. Looking forward to listening to that. I shall listen to it on Spotify as soon as I've finished recording. So I'll be back later with that review of Muse. So bye for now.